All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Adrienne.
Good morning, Sotu.
We are SOTU, and this is SOTUesday for April the 4th, 2017. And it is springtime. It is springtime here in the Berkshires and springtime in the Northern Hemisphere, and it is a time for planting seeds for the future, but at the same time, we would ask you the question of how many of you are having reminiscences of the past? How many of you are remembering the dynamics of old loves? How many of you are remembering, seemingly coming from nowhere, things long resolved in your reality? Well, these are reflections of a dynamic of April that is emerging right now, that is going to continue all the way into the dynamic of May. And we are speaking energetically, and we're also speaking about a very subtle influence, but one that nonetheless, if you find yourself in a dynamic of reminiscence, do not allow yourself to be deluded to believe that this means that you need to heal old wounds, rekindle old dynamics, or it means that somehow you have not been good enough in the dynamics of your healing, your forgiveness, your dynamic of moving forward. In fact, that is not what is being asked of you. What is being asked of you all right now is to remember the dynamics of your experiences. Now, we, of course, are speaking to those of you that are, what shall we say, 35 years and older. Those of you that are younger than 35, you are still in the dynamics of your formative experiences, and we would only suggest that you allow yourselves to be objective about the reflections of your reality. It will be hitting your emotions, you younger folks, more viscerally than it will those of you that have been around the block a few hundred times. So understand that, but also understand that the reflections right now are reflections of a dynamic that are wishing to remind you to stand upon your experiences. Don't go back to the dynamics of the old situations, the old choices that led to the old negative reactions, that led to the old negative beliefs. If you have resolved the dynamic, do not doubt that you have resolved it. Just understand that the reflections of your reality are asking you to remember, or asking you to stand upon the dynamics of your experience. And even at that point, when you stand upon the dynamics of your experience, you know what that's called? It's called wisdom. Now, we don't wish to accuse any of you of being wise, because that might be a little something for you to have to live up to. But we would suggest to you that that, in fact, is the dynamic that you are moving into. The energy of your reality is pushing you forward. There's no two ways about it. The reflections of your reality, do not allow yourself to be seduced into believing that any polarized position is going to lead to a dynamic of resolution, to a dynamic of peace. You need to, as a species, you need to, as a humanity, find something that you can all stand behind. Find something that you can all believe in. And we think that one thing is peace. So we begin in the dynamics of the exploration of peace by asking you, what does peace mean to you? And we don't wish to have an instant answer or anything like that. Well, this is something that we would wish you to contemplate. For peace is an emotional dynamic. Peace is a dynamic that can only come from a feeling of safety and security. So you need to begin to ask yourself, what makes you feel safe? What makes you feel secure? And we believe that by making wise choices, that you can begin to build a foundation that leads to safety and security. Because you begin to move into a place where you can begin to trust yourself. Now, certainly so, dear ones, all of these SOTUesdays have been about reflecting the energy of the present week, the energy of the present month, in the dynamics of the now, so that you might understand a little more, perhaps gain a little more objectivity, gain a little more space on the dynamics of what is occurring in your world, so you're perhaps feeling that things are a little less chaotic. You know, people talk about it as cosmic waves. Other people talk about it as a dynamic of every CME that comes through the planet raises your consciousness. Well, it's more of a natural dynamic even than that. The urge for growth comes from within, and the dynamics of those things that reflect outwardly in your world that seemingly validate that movement. And that's what it is. It comes from the dynamic of your belief, your movement, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. For you, dear ones, are the reality creators. And you create through your beliefs and your judgments. We'll keep reminding you of this over and over again. We will remind you of the dynamics of your chakra system and how your chakras relate to your dynamics of belief. If you understand that each of your chakras holds a lens of belief, you know, you can begin by asking yourself the question, what do you believe about the divine? What do you believe about God? What do you believe about your worthiness to connect with that divine energy, that worthiness to be able to go within, to explore with a certain amount of assuredness, to know that you are good enough? How do you voice that dynamic to your world? What do you believe about yourself? Is the dynamics of your projection nothing but bravado? Or are you too timid to even speak about who you really are? Word is a very powerful part of the dynamic of manifestation. Thought, word, and emotion or feeling. That is a dynamic that creates manifestation. And so we're talking about the complexity of the dynamics of your beliefs. So how do you feel about love? And also, how do you feel about abandonment and betrayal? For it's all right here. Love and hurt, all right in the heart chakra. And the solar plexus, the place of thinking and feeling, to take all of that dynamic of thinking and try to put it together in some sort of semblance of understanding, thinking and feeling. And the dynamics, at the same time, you have the dynamics of the physical. The dynamics of Mother Earth, for you are all, those of you that are of the human race. That brings questions in and of itself, doesn't it? But those of you that are of the human race and have these dynamics of these chakra systems, the base chakra is all about safety and security. It is here that you, in many ways, translate the energy of the physical into the it's almost like taking the energy of the physical and moving it more toward the divine energy. And the beliefs that you have about safety and security and the dynamics of the reflections of your world right now that are saying to you, be anything but safe, be anything but secure, and in order to be really safe and secure, you must be aggressive? Bullshit. Can we say that? Well, we can say anything we wish, can't we? For this is YouTube. Right. And the second chakra, you know, place of sexuality, but also the place of creativity. How many of you allow your sexuality to get in the place of your creativity, and vice versa? How many of you hold these strange belief systems around sexuality? All these very strange, warped, what some people would consider warped belief systems, when it is just an expression of belief and judgment And the energy of the above and the energy of below come together in that solar plexus chakra, that place of thinking and feeling. And if you consider that you're a projector and you have all of these dynamics of belief and judgment that are all coming out in a constant flow of energy through you, for you are the reality projector, and you're willing to look at it objectively, you will see that you are creating exactly what you believe. All right. That's our lecture for today. We are SOTU, and this is SOTUesday for April the 4th, 4/4/2017. We love you all so very, very much. And so until the next time we close, sending you peace, sending you happiness, sending you joy.